Well, that's not my business to trust
Well, certainly
anybody.
it has to be the business, because you're making decisions to go into war and put American lives at risk. So it's a simple concept. You either trust or do not trust. And if you do not trust, we don't call these people our allies or support.
So who are these Syrian rebels that we're looking to support? With me, terrorism expert Brigitte Gabriel and former Treasury Department terrorism analyst Jonathan Schanzer. Brigitte, I'll go to you first. Who are these rebels? Do we even know?
They are a collection of Islamic radicals that have bonded together and came together from all over surrounding countries, even countries including Russia and the Caucasus. They are coming from Libya, from Lebanon, from Egypt. They came to Syria because they know this is an opportunity for them to basically establish an Islamic state working with the Muslim Brotherhood in Syria. There are 9 different collection of terrorist organizations right now forming the rebels in Syria. 7 out of the 9 are linked to Al-Qaeda, with relationships to Al-Qaeda.
Jonathan, you know, do you agree with what Brigitte has just said?
Oh, I would agree to a certain extent, but I would probably try to add a few points to that. You know, I think that the Free Syrian Army is not necessarily all jihadists or all Muslim Brotherhood. They are certainly, many of them or most of them are Muslims, but that does not mean that they have an Islamist outlook. The problem is that they're a ragtag group of individuals that really have not been able to follow a chain of command. From there, you do have Islamists, which probably make up about 1/4 to 1/3 of the fighters. You've got Salafists, which represent maybe another 10% or more.
But what
and
does
then
that
there are the
mean?
jihadists.
You know what, Jonathan, I don't mean to interrupt you, but the viewers don't know the difference between the Salafists and the Alawites and the Shiites and the Sunnis and all that. Here's the thing. You were going in on the side of people who we are now hearing and seeing are literally executing the Syrians, the army, and ignoring the Geneva Convention. And we know it's Al-Qaeda. I mean, we know there's a great number of them. Here's the thing from the New York Times. These guys, I mean, you could tell they've been tortured. You could look at their backs. They're being shot by the rebels. What are we doing, Jonathan? How do we know who's going to come into power if Assad is taken out?
We don't. And the bottom line is that we do not have good options in this war. It's one of the reasons why the administration tried to ignore it for the last 2 years, because it knew all along that if we were going to get dragged in, that we were going to have these extremely difficult choices, and that even if Assad is gone, and this man is a butcher who's killed 110,000 people, even when he's gone, there could be worse people that come after him, and that is what we're struggling with here today. There are no good answers.
And Brigitte, why haven't the neighbors of the Syrians come in and tried to help them? What you just described was the neighbors coming in to basically fight a holy war that's been going on for 1,300 years.
Exactly. And what we are looking at basically is a war between the Shiite and the Sunnis. That's what we're getting caught in the middle right now if we go into Syria. The Saudis, the Jordanians, who are Sunnis, do not want Iran to establish a base in Syria, because they know Iran is establishing the base in Syria to create a strong Shiite base in the Middle East to find the Sunnis and counter the Sunnis. They want to create a Shiite hegemony in the Middle East. The Saudis, the Kuwaitis, the Qataris do not want that, and that's why they agreed to fund this war using us as their mercenaries to basically go fight their Shiite brethren, their enemy, and do their dirty work for them. America is above that, and we should be smarter than that, than to go fight a war for them so they can make sure they can maintain their power in the Middle East against Iran.
All right. And Jonathan, what do you think the reaction from Assad will be to this so-called limited strike?
Well, this is what I've been warning against. I think you either go to war or you don't. If we want to stay out, then let all these different factions kill each other. It'll be hard to ignore that 110,000, but at least, you know, we would have an objective. Or go in all the way and get rid of Assad and begin to dismantle this Iranian network that is spreading across the Middle East. But you go in this half-hearted way, we will get hit, we will get drawn in, whether it's from Hezbollah or from Syria or from Iran. I would be very surprised if they didn't try to draw us in further.
Brigitte and Jonathan, thanks so much for your expertise tonight.